Great seeing you here again. My name is Luc de Custer, founder of the Custer Academy. And in this video, I will talk about the advantages, the disadvantages, and the myths of Agile. But before we continue, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. So let's have a look at the advantages of Agile. Change is embraced, so we have shorter planning cycles that accommodate changes. We can change the way the product will or the service will look like because we have those shorter planning cycles and we work with, let's say, teams, knowledgeable teams that create those solutions. The shorter planning cycles promote that we get quick releases of product, a working product, and it also means that we can adjust it very easily. The end goal of an Agile project can be unknown, and once we're working on the project, it will show us the end goal. The end goal may not be there at the beginning, we have an idea, but working on the project, doing all those iterations will provide us how the final product or service should look like. We have a faster, high-quality delivery. The product iterations, they show us issues and necessary changes that can be accommodated very quickly. So we can see what we already did. We can change it because we only have to change a small part of the program. We don't have to change everything. We have strong team interaction. It means that we have frequent communications within the team, typically face-to-face interactions that improve communication and reduce misunderstandings. Customers are heard, the customer is included in the cycle, and the customers can provide feedback and propose adjustments to the elements that already have been completed. And we thrive on continuous improvement. The communications that we have, the feedback that we get from the customer, all these elements help us to improve what we completed so that we can really create a product that complies with the needs of the customer. Of course, there are some disadvantages of the Agile approach. The planning can be less concrete. Reprioritization of the tasks will lead to planning changes that can add sprints to the timeline. So basically, it can take longer. We can have additional sprints compared to the number of sprints we estimated at the beginning. And that is sometimes a disadvantage because the plan will be, let's say, taking longer or the execution takes longer than we initially expected. The team must be knowledgeable. We have small integrated teams and we need highly skilled people with a polyvalent knowledge, and they should understand many subjects. It's not one person doing something, it's a team working together. Time commitment from developers is required. We require active collaboration, and it's more demanding than in the traditional approach. When this commitment doesn't take place, the Agile project can be in jeopardy. Documentation can be neglected. Now we look at the Agile method where we say that working deliverables are more important than documentation, and reducing documentation is important because we try to get out documentation that is in fact useless, documentation and reports that will never be used, but we have to be careful because we still have to have a certain amount of documentation, certainly when we look at the finalized product or the service. When we want to work with it later, the documentation should exist. Of course, there are some myths about Agile. The first myth is that there is no planning. We don't have Gantt charts, we don't have a precedence diagram, but there is a planning done at each iteration or only when it's necessary, depending on the methodology that we are using. There is a form of planning, but not the same way like it used to be in the classical approach. There is no documentation. Well, we eliminate all the unnecessary documents, but the stories that we create to create a product, they contain information, they are part of the documentation of the project. People say it's the best way to manage a project. It can be the best way for a certain project, but it's surely not the best way for all the projects. There may be projects that are more predictive, and in that case, we should use the waterfall approach. Of course, we can integrate it together with the waterfall approach. We can do some items that will be using an agile approach, while others will be using the waterfall approach. Only applicable on IT projects. This is really a myth that it's not true. It started with IT projects, but it's also possible to use agile methodologies for other projects in other industries. We look at marketing, research and development. So there are different environments where agile can be very useful also. So that was it about agile, the advantages, the disadvantages, and the myths around agile. That was it for this video. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and whenever we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next videos. Bye bye.